All right, so we finished the last video talking about how how did I word it? How does money relate to your personal sense of self-worth, and how does your time relate to your personal sense of worth? And I think both of these questions kind of tie into this third level of money that they talk about in the book, which is the cultural realm of money, which is our shared cultural understanding about money. And we need to realize that I live in Canada. Wherever you live, the cultural view of money may be and probably is different than the view that will be in other parts of the world. And if you're not happy with the cultural view of money in your location, it might be interesting to explore the cultural view of money in other cultures to see if something matches up better. It's not something I've done, but it's something I've been thinking about since I read the book again. They kind of say that the North American cultural view of money, again, is growth is good. Is our economy growing? Are we obtaining more things in our life? And we kind of take that growth is good and we turn it into more is good. And what they say in the book is that we're focusing too much on the more is good, more money, more stuff, bigger houses, better cars, versus the growth is good of our, growing spiritually, growing personally, growing with our family. There are other ways of growth that we can be measuring our lives other than the growth of our possessions. And I think it's this cultural belief that really has an effect on me sometimes when I think of my self-worth in relation to money and time. Because even though I know it isn't true, I sometimes struggle with the fact that I make less than my wife. And so I have still to this day, and I'm getting better, but I have this link between my personal self-worth and the amount of money I make. And I don't make that much less than my wife, but I do. And it affects me sometimes, that self-worth struggles. I struggle with my self-image because I'm not making more money. And I know it's not true, but I still struggle with it. But what's really helped me is realizing that my family, my son, Ashley, and we actually value our time together more than the money. And by running my business the way that I run it and, being a stay-at-home dad and taking care of Finn and getting him to school and picking him up from school and being able to spend holidays with Ashley and Finn because she's a teacher and he's in school, so taking summers mostly off, I get to give my family more time than a lot of people do. And that's actually tied more into my self-worth when I sit down and think about it than the amount of money I make. So really be aware of how cultural views are affecting your ties of self-worth to money and the way that you're looking at your money. Just because everyone around you believes that something should be a certain way with money doesn't mean that has to be a truth for you. And this is a great piece in this section is, we allow cultural views on money, more is better, bigger house, retirement savings have to be a certain amount, to make us sad, when in reality, we're happy with the way our money and our life are working. And I think this is so true. Things can be good, but because the culture around us doesn't identify good the same way we do, we may go after things with our money that aren't really important to us. And so we need to be clear and get clear on what is important to us so that we're focusing on money on those important things and not letting the culture around us have an effect on us in that way. In business, the way I see this the most is in that magic number that if you're in business, you've heard all the time, are you making six figures? 6 figures is this magic number for online businesses. And if you're not making it, the culture that surrounds us online can really make you feel inadequate in your business. When the reality is, you may be running your business just fine at under 6 figures, be happy with it. So don't let that overall culture affect you in how you view your success. All right, we're going to get into the personal responsibility and transformation side in the next video, which is where the real change for me, and I think you, if you read the book, this is where it really happens.